What we doing?
We're about to pod.
Again? What the hell? We went over all the
Did you
topics.
not just hear anything you just said? You know what? Asked what the topics was today and didn't even. I don't know what to say.
What?
He just
That's
said,
where we-
Kate.
That's where we did all the topics.
Only did one.
One.
All the
That's all you
topics.
said was,
only two.
our Karen's. I didn't know that was like a.
I didn't know it was a real topic. I thought you were just saying it. Let me get some water.
Oh man. What's up, Podsters?
We're back again.
We back. All right. You already know all of us, so let's just get straight into the topic. Today we're debating if athletes should limit the amount of time they spend on social media across all platforms. And the reason why this is a topic that we are discussing is because Kyron's guy, KD, made headlines because of DMs, direct messages, the exchange between him and Michael Rappaport. Michael Rappaport posted screenshots of their exchange, and there was some foul language, language that's inappropriate. That's why I don't have the screenshots on here. But a lot of people were taken away by how inappropriate it was and stuff like that. So I was just wondering, should athletes even put themselves in that type of situation where you know that stuff like this could possibly be exposed? Or because in today's time, everyone, or for the most part, the majority uses social media, they should be allowed to do whatever they want when it comes to social media. So Kyron, I'll let you start us off.
I'm gonna say that, like, from the standpoint of it being social media, it's social. Now, I think on the reporter side, I think he's doing it to, I don't know, get clout. I don't know how. If Michael Rappaport he doesn't need clout, right? He's pretty big in the media today.
I'll wait until you're done.
Or is he like, is he falling off or something like that? Because why would he post direct messages?
He was never really on, but like his fans know him if they see him in public.
Well, now I'm sure a whole lot of people know him now because he got that clout from Kevin Durant. So why would you release DMs, private DMs, if you weren't trying to, I don't know, start a pot or start something? I don't know, man. But it's social media. That's what it's there for. But like, I don't know, man. He's just abusing it, I would say.
KD is?
No, I would say Michael Rappaport's abusing it.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Yep. You keep these things private. Why would you release it?
Who said it's private?
It's supposed to be private.
In my opinion,
messages.
Yeah, but like it's just like if you go holler at a girl, knowing damn well you got a girlfriend, she now has that power to release those messages. Like if you don't want it to be like released or like anything, you got to watch what you say, especially when you're Kevin Durant.
Not if you name dropping me and worry about what I'm doing when I'm not worried about you.
So if he's not worried about him, why is he messaging him?
Who messaged first?
Does it matter?
It does.
It doesn't. Even if Michael messaged first, KD responded, and they were bickering back and forth.
Don't matter why you speaking on my name. I'm not worried about you.
So the way that this beef started was that Michael Rappaport indirectly came at, well, it was directed to KD, but he
Mhm.
didn't add him. He didn't say his name. He just said, "Why would you do this? Why would you go on?" I think it was Inside the NBA. Why would you go on there if you don't even care to be on there? If you didn't show any type of interest in being on there, you didn't really answer Charles Barkley's questions, Shaq, Kenny's, Ernie's. So why even do it? And obviously, we know that some of these athletes, especially like a KD, uh, they don't like to do this stuff. They just rather ball, but the
Yeah.
NBA has a policy where you have to do these things. It's just a requirement. So obviously everyone knows that this was directed towards KD, and then KD responded, and then Michael Rappaport and him were going back and forth in DMs, and they have like previous history or something like
Right.
where
So
they
he
were
on the
going to be
outside.
like potential business partners or whatever.
He's on the outside looking in at that point. So he just put himself in the conversation or something that didn't have anything to do with him. That's my standpoint. It had nothing to do with you. Like, why are you speaking on me?
Yeah, it's a freedom of speech. I mean, it's not that serious. I mean, it seems like KD just got his feelings hurt and decides to spark up a conversation.
Man, KD
Which
don't need no clout with none of that.
Okay, so why did he respond?
Why are you speaking on my name?
Why does that bother him?
Why shouldn't it bother him?
like it just comes down to like KD, just like, bro, like if it's not that serious. Like, you're a professional. If you feel like this man is irrelevant, don't give him the clout. It's that simple. You don't hear LeBron doing none of this stuff.
I feel like it's two things. Two things can be true. KD has a right to feel the way he feels about somebody speaking about him. He has a right to react a certain way because you are speaking about another grown man. Because at the end of the day, they're both grown people. And at the same time, he also put himself in a position for this to be leaked. Now, that was very weak of Michael Rappaport to do it. I wouldn't have done it, but it does seem like it's clout chasing. It's like, you know that the NBA is going to look into this. So it's like he did it on purpose, like some like snitch type thing, because he knows, honestly, if he did it, like if he went and emailed this to like his boss, like whoever the Nets owner is or the general manager, they could have just swept it under the rug. But him putting it through social media is like they're going to put pressure on the Nets to find him, let alone the NBA to find him, right? So it's like two things could be true. You know, KD has a right to feel the way he feels, like you're speaking on him. Like, you know, he's a comedian, an actor, but at the same time, you should get he's getting mad at KD for not doing something, and then exposes KD, or KD comes in direct messaging him because he did take a shot at KD, but then do it to his face or let alone DM him. He said his name to other people, and then when KD came and responded, he released the what's the name. So it's like that doesn't make any sense. You went on the show talking about me, but when I come to your DMs to talk about me like you were, you tell the whole world.
Right. And then even on the show, I don't know if it was that same show that you're talking about, but he said he admitted to omitted messages, his own messages. So there was some stuff there that we don't even know or haven't even seen.
Are we surprised?
No.
Yeah, I don't think DM should be leaked. But that's as I said, that's the risk you take when you're dealing with people that you didn't grow up with or that you're not very close to. KD said that they were friends, but Michael Rappaport said we're not friends at all. And so I mean, you have to be careful the way you use it, social media, because you can be exposed in a split second. But I don't think that athletes should limit social media or interaction with others. I've always hated when people say that KD is so thin-skinned and why is he responding to the average Joe? That's what social media is for. Athletes, this is why they use Instagram or other platforms, is because this is how they reach out to fans or even people that criticize them. That's why basketball is such a global sport, is because of recognition. You know the players on and off the court. You feel like you're a part of their life. Is how they become a brand. So it would be really hard for a star like a KD or a LeBron James not to use social media, and then at the same time not think that they wouldn't interact with others, even people that you would think is beneath them and they shouldn't respond to, which is just totally ridiculous. So I think that KD should use it, but he also has to just deal with the ramifications and stuff that comes with it at times. You use language like that where some people, groups of people will be offended by it. You better be expected to, get some type of backlash and also have some money be taken away, which he was fined $50,000 by the NBA for, the inappropriate language that he used. That stuff is locker room talk, which a lot of times that won't make it out. But even now, we saw Antonio Brown where he started going on like Instagram Live or Facebook Live and something that Mike Tomlin has said, and he used some profanity and some choice words that he wouldn't use if he was being interviewed on SportsCenter or something. So you just have to be careful nowadays what you say in all settings. So
Nick Young.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why would anybody be shocked? D'Angelo Russell was like a rookie or in his second year. Like, of course he would do that. Millennials and whatever comes after millennials, Gen Y, Gen Z people, they all use phones. Like, I have a stat here from a tech jury. It said that Americans spend an average screen time of 5.4 hours on their mobile phones daily. And 2 hours and 24 minutes of that is usually social media.
We're millennials, right?
Yeah. That's why I'm saying, like, we use a phone a lot, so why wouldn't you expect like younger kids to use it, like a D'Angelo Russell? I don't know if he's still considered a millennial, but why wouldn't, even though KD's older, he's still really he was like from that group that the internet and smartphones were just starting to be introduced. And these athletes are not just shooting around in the gym every day, all day. They're on the plane, they're doing this, they're doing that. I'm sure they're doing business a lot on social media or on their phone. So I'm sure they also use it for personal use and for pleasure.
Yeah.
Now the Shannon Sharp one, that was interesting.
We ain't hear nothing you said.
I said that's why they got like 5 phones.
Yeah. Well, KD has 5 phones because he has 4 burner accounts and then 1 actual account.
I believe.
Albert, can you explain why you agree with Shannon Sharp's approach and just blocking KD?
Yeah.
What's the rundown? I don't know actually what happened.
Basically, Shannon misquoted something Katie said. From what I thought he paraphrased what Katie said, but a lot of people say he said he didn't actually say that. But paraphrasing is taking what you're saying and kind of like shorting it down. But I could be wrong. But I feel like Shannon took the bigger route because it's like during the times of me, especially what happened this week with the shootings and all that types of stuff, there's a bad image on us for 2 grown men to be going back and forth. Because he also said, well, if you did it in public, why would you want to do this in private now? Well, here's the difference. Shannon Sharp has a TV show. He gets paid to talk about you and talk about trending topics. Now, if you would have came up there to the show or did something with the show, that is a difference. But you talking about Twitter, that's 2 different things because Shannon Sharp did not come for you on Twitter. He said it on his show. That's 2 different things. Like, I don't understand that part. So, but I agree with blocking because there's no point. It's just like Shannon is like what? He's probably this man's dad, like his uncle's age or something, or his dad's age. Like, so at some point, somebody has to take the higher road, because we know KD for having burner accounts. We know him for, constantly being on Twitter, and it's like that's his form of like arguing, I guess. And it's like at some point, KD's not going to let it go, so somebody has to end it before it gets worse than what it is. Because at the end of the day, he's a sports journalist, and you're an active NBA player.
Yeah, but I agree with you. I like what Shannon Sharp did. Ultimately, he just blocked him. There is no need to go back and forth, especially something so petty like this. But then at the same time, we think it's petty, but KD and other athletes like him now, for KD, where people are talking about him, this doesn't really affect his pay, his professional life, because he's going to ball out either way, right? But like when Shaq would go at JaVale McGee would say, GMs are actually listening to you, Shaq, because you're a 4-time champ, Hall of Famer. So when you do those Shaq in the Fool segments, yeah, you can poke fun at me, but to constantly pick at me, like, it's hard to get a job after a while. And I'm sure for KD, even though, yes, he's one of the greatest athletes of all time, one of the greatest NBA players, I'm sure it gets to him because he's probably on social media all the time, obviously, because he's always in Twitter beefs and stuff. But to see snakes emojis, to see cupcakes, you're soft. There was a soft move, the fact that you left OKC to go to State. So, I mean, when he came into the league, right, Kyron, he was probably one of the nicest guys to ever be in the league. And then, he put his heart and soul into that city of OKC. And then when he leaves, he becomes the villain. So that's why I think he just plays a role now. Like, after a while, it gets to you. Why am I being nice to these people? And it's not mutual. They don't show me the love back. So I feel like this is why he uses platforms like Instagram, Twitter to go at people like Shannon Sharp, because Albert what is he going to do? Wait until the off season to address this, and probably still and continue to have like Skip and Shannon go at him. Like when Stephen A. Smith was talking about, I'll make your life miserable and stuff, he went at Stephen A. Smith. And then when he had time, because he was out for a year, he went on First Take, and him and Stephen A. Smith, well, they didn't really talk. KD was kind of like this the whole time. Like, he didn't really want to be there. But Stephen A. Smith was kissing his butt. But still, like, he will go on the show. But I don't see anything wrong with him saying, you publicly criticize me, so I'm going to publicly come back at you. Because he doesn't start it. He doesn't say that Shannon Sharp isn't a great TV or sports journalist. He doesn't, he doesn't go at people, so he should be able to defend himself at the end.
He should.
I think he's a hot topic in the street right now, so I don't know, everybody just trying to piss him off or what?
Because he is easy to piss him off. So why
Exactly.
when you know that he's approachable and he will probably respond to you, which, because he is such a superstar, when he does come at you, you're going to be the hot topic for 48 hours. So I would too. That's why Michael Rappaport put out those DMs. It wasn't all that BS about, I didn't think it would be this big. Of course you knew it would be this big, because a player like that, who is supposedly, like he even said, you're America's sweetheart. Yeah. Like, the shock value is going to go, like, people are going to go crazy when they see the way that you talk behind closed doors, or the way that you communicate. So he knew, and that's how he makes his living. Just like Shannon makes his living criticizing people and critiquing people and whatever. Michael Rappaport, the stuff that he was offended at KD for, that's how he makes his living. He goes on Instagram, he rants, he talks about Kim Kardashian, he made fun of Pete Davidson, a guy that openly talks about depression. He calls people women genitalia, F you, F that, blah, blah, blah. Some words that are just disgusting, and he gets away with it. But when KD does it, it becomes a problem. So why would you get mad at somebody when you do that exact same thing to pay your bills?
Here's a problem I have. Athletes, Excuse me, I didn't even answer the question from the get go. I feel like athletes should limit their time on social media because they don't have social media training. Most of these guys are coming from whatever neighborhoods or however old they are to straight to the college world to get attention, straight to the NBA. These guys don't know how to. That's why they have PRs, right? Because they don't know how to handle the media. And when you're somebody like Kevin Durant, you would think somebody would be above that. Like somebody talks about you so much, you're like, I don't care. Like I'm gonna go off and score. But at the same time, these athletes that get mad, they don't. It's always when something's bad, correct? When they respond to somebody, it's always when something's bad happening. It's never when, oh, okay, you talked good about me. Oh, okay, appreciate you for doing that. It's like you pick and choose when you want to say something. It's like you're just going to talk about, you're just going to respond to something when something's bad. That's the energy that you're kind of putting out there, because that's the only time you see KD respond to anything is if it's negative. Like he might have all these charities in the world and all this stuff, but that stuff's in private. Most people don't see that. The only time you hear about KD in the news is if he's doing something, like he responding to somebody on Twitter. So it's just like, that's his gig now. It's like, that's all he responds to is everything negative.
But at the same time, if you're going to speak on a grown man, like, I don't know, man. Like, come with facts. Don't, mix up my words and put words in my mouth and this and that, and then try to, make something that's not.
Well, what's the difference between, so if it was me, if I was in a situation, right, and it's easy to say this, but if I was in a situation, I'm Kevin Durant, millions of people know me, I can get Shannon Sharp's number. I can get Shannon Sharp's number and personally contact him and say, hey, this is how I feel about the situation, and have that same energy instead of going on Twitter and doing it. That for me, that does not make any sense. I don't care who it is, athlete or not. For you to express your feelings on social media over something you can like go to directly to that person, you don't need a middleman anymore. You don't need to pick up the phone and have the operator, call somebody these days no more. You can get in touch with them. So it's like that point, it's like, what are you doing? You
didn't do it either when he spoke on his name. He didn't go to him and be like, I said this and this about you. Like, let's talk.
That's his job.
Went to social media first.
So who knows if KD wants to reach out to him personally? Maybe he doesn't want this to end. Maybe when you just talk about him, what he wants to do is just fire back at you. Maybe he feeds off of that. That's fuel for him, either on the court or that's just something, that's just a hobby of his. He loves to clap back at people on social media. So who knows if he really wants, to tell Shannon, hey, stop talking about me. Maybe he doesn't want that. Maybe he just, hey, you talked about me. All right, well, I'm gonna talk about you now, and don't start getting upset or take it personally when I fire back at you. Like I don't see why he would have to reach out to Shannon. And I think I said this earlier, I hate when they call him thin skin, because we talk about, well, LeBron doesn't do it. Yeah, LeBron, he does confront people either on his social media or in the several different other mediums that he has, where he'll go on the shop, or he'll talk about other stuff, like where they were talking about the whole, shut up and dribble when that lady said that. He talks about that stuff too. He comes at people. And who else? I'm trying to think. Yeah,
but
Michael
LeBron
Jordan.
Is smart when he does that.
Yeah, he is smarter. Not saying that what KD doing is totally correct, but not everyone has the will and the maturity to handle it the way that LeBron does. And just like when Skip always talking about, well, MJ wouldn't do it, it's easy to say that when he played during the time that dinosaurs were attending his game.
Well,
we know that Michael Jordan is the most thin-skinned, egotistical maniac ever. They on the Last Dance, they talked about when a guy didn't shake his hand, or if a guy said before a game, yeah, I'm about to put them things on MJ. MJ would say, oh, really? And that's when he would have a career night.
Well, like for Shannon, he's on the show, right? He's going to have his audience every day with or without KD, right? Mm-hmm. The thing is how he handled it. This is how he doesn't like. This is why they need PRs because how LeBron did it on the shop. He didn't give her attention by directly adding her like on Twitter or Facebook. That everybody has an audience. There's an audience for literally everybody. Look at the world today. Literally, ignorance is bliss. So by adding that person, you're giving them the people that already hate you. You're giving them more of a fire to go follow that person that you're adding and further hate you even more because it's like, oh, well, we can team up and blah, blah, blah. It's just like Kevin Durant when he added the whole Michael Rappaport thing, when he opened up the floodgates for that, when he DM'd him, that's like now people are going to like Michael Rappaport. He ain't even that funny. Like, he, all right. He probably he ain't funny to me. The act is tiring.
Yeah, and as you said, everyone gravitates towards whatever their humor is or whatever they like. So we wouldn't like him, but I'm sure he did gain a lot more fans, and especially people that probably hate KD. So now they have this mutual bond. But I kind of lost track here. But with KD, it's just like, I don't know. He should be able to get on social media and address it however he wants. It's just a shame that the people that make a living on, when it comes to talking about his life and every move he makes, then they want to block him or expose him for the true person that he is that doesn't need to be displayed in public.
That's how it is.
Yeah, man, get your buttons pushed and get criticized for going off.
Because honestly, think about it. If KD if he didn't get exposed for having a Twitter, or let alone if he didn't have a Twitter, nobody would talk about him as much, honestly. Like, as far as negatively, like the negative aspect. Because he doesn't respond. If you don't have a Twitter or something, you're not talking about that man negatively. If you are, it fades out after a while. But once you respond, it's like, bam, that fire's lit.
People have been calling him a cupcake and a snake for the last 5 years now. That hasn't died. That didn't fade away. And that was before we found out about the burner accounts and all.
But he always had a Twitter. That's feuds.
Why. True. But as I said, like, it's a necessity to have social media. You need that nowadays, especially when you're a sports figure.
Yeah.
And I think that KD just loves being a troll. Like, a lot of athletes are trolls now. Look at Anthony Edwards. I love that guy not because he's one of the rising stars in the league and one of the best rookies in his class, but it's because of the comments that he makes. Like, if you've heard about the fact that A-Rod will probably become the owner of the Minnesota Timberwolves, which is just a disgrace. What they did to KG and stuff. But anyway, when they asked Anthony Edwards about it, how you feel about A-Rod possibly being your boss, he was like, "Who's A-Rod?" I was like, this man obviously knows who A-Rod is. I know he's young, and we're older than him, so it's kind of scary that possibly people would say who's A-Rod, because
but he knows who he is.
I know people who say who's Emmitt Smith, and so it's kind of crazy, right? So he probably doesn't know, but I think it's a slim chance he doesn't know. But I think he's just trolling because he knows people are going to talk about it the next day.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know with him, though. He's so nonchalant with everything.
But he grew up with A-Rod still playing. It's not like A-Rod retired like 20 years ago. A-Rod retired less than 10 years ago. This man know who A-Rod is.
He knows who he is. But that's like young Thug we were talking about. He said, what did he say about Three Stacks? They didn't like his music or something?
He never heard his music.
That's cap.
Quote.
That's crazy.
Cap. That's so much cap.
It wouldn't be that crazy. I mean, it would be crazy if he said he didn't enjoy Outkast music or Andre 3000 music. But the fact that he said that they heard it, like, if he said that he didn't like the music, then that's one thing. But to say you haven't heard it and you live in Atlanta, where the Outkast is like legends, that's just ridiculous.
Exactly.
But as you were saying, like, KD, what do you say, Joe?
I just said it's cap.
Oh, like you're talking about KD, like he's talked about negatively because of this. We wouldn't hear from him other than he scored 35 points the other night. Okay, but a lot of times these guys, the only way that they stay relevant in the age of information, social media, is the stuff that they do off the court, which is trolling and all this other craziness.
Hey, maybe it was a move. He just came out with shoes that I wouldn't have known about. So
I didn't know about it till you just said
see,
it.
I told you.
Yep, the
I'm
KD
still not gonna buy
14s
it.
He's in the
came back with the straps.
How they look? Oh, they got straps, so they trash.
they all right. They ain't that good. They ain't
You
that
buying
bad.
them?
No.
Okay, they not all right.
When's the last time I bought? When's the last time you bought a basketball shoe?
Have you ever had any
Kyrie's.
KD shoes?
Boy,
Nah,
that was
'cause
like
they all
3 years
trash.
ago.
No, I'm talking about Kyrie.
Huh?
Have you ever had any KD shoes?
Hell no.
Oh, you a fake
You're not a
fan.
fan.
You a
You're
fake
not a
fan.
yeah.
You gotta support your boy,
people
man.
exposed. Three people exposed: KD, Jeff, and Kyron.
What?
I wanted some.
Yep.
I wanted them pearls when they came out. See, I don't even know what those are.
Nobody do.
Yeah, a lot of people knew what they were.
Pearls. Like
Unpearl?
Pearl for SpongeBob.
This is Pearl.
Unpearl. I don't know what it was behind it. Maybe that was his aunt's name.
All I know is I've been waiting on my Jeff man shoes for a while now.
Exactly. What you gonna blame it on COVID?
Yeah, bro. Ship is delayed.
For when? Forever?
Man, you gotta call your carrier, man.
Who's your distributor? Johnson and Johnson.
Oh man.
Oh man, nah, man. We work overseas only, man.
All right, well, good one, Albert. You had some good points there. Kyron, you defended your guy, as we should always expect. Jeff.
It's not a Warriors fan.
Yeah, I was about to say you've been
I
exposed.
am a Warriors fan.
For now.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Boy, gonna have a Lakers jersey on with number 30.
Oh.
Nah, I couldn't buy a Curry jersey if he was with the Lakers because that ain't authentic.
What?
But you got a Tyler Hero jersey after one good season?
Yeah.
How's it not authentic if he's actually on the team?
Because like when you think about Curry, you instantly think about the Warriors, bro. Like he was there so long, so like that's like I couldn't buy a LeBron jersey. Like if he was still in Cleveland, that'd be a different story. But I couldn't wear a LeBron jersey as a Lakers player. It's like I don't know. It's kind of weird. Especially because they cost so goddamn much.
Yeah, that's the
That's
main
the real
reason why.
This man here. It's not authentic. No, boy, the
Your
version
bank
you're
account.
trying to buy it ain't authentic.
Yeah, you waited for the replica,
Dang, got a wish.
the one where the numbers start to peel off after a while.
You got the new Kobe logo. Like, yeah, they updated the NBA logo to Kobe.
Oh man.
Boy.
Ain't nobody tell y'all.
That's funny.
That's a good way to end this. All right. We'll catch y'all next week. Yeah. Peace, Bosters.